How did a woman manage to rule as a pharaoh in ancient Egypt, a society dominated by men? This is the story of Hatshepsut, an unconventional pharaoh who defied the norms of her time. Born to Pharaoh Thutmose I and his primary wife Ahmose, Hatshepsut was not destined for the throne. However, fate had other plans. When her father passed away, the throne went to her half-brother Thutmose II, whom she married as per tradition. But his reign was short-lived, and when he died, the power fell to his infant son, Thutmose III. Hatshepsut, now a widow, was appointed as the young king's regent. But regency was not enough for this ambitious queen. In a society where pharaohs were traditionally male, Hatshepsut's ascension to the throne was nothing short of revolutionary. She dared to challenge the status quo and seize the reins of power. Despite the odds, Hatshepsut would not only become pharaoh, but she would also lead Egypt into an era of prosperity and architectural grandeur. Hatshepsut's path to power was not a straightforward one. Such is often the case when one is blazing a trail through uncharted territory. Hatshepsut initially served as the regent for her young stepson, Thutmose III, after the death of her husband, Thutmose II. However, as time passed, Hatshepsut began to move beyond her role as regent. Her strategic alliances, notably with key military leaders and influential priests, helped her consolidate her position. Her political acumen was evident in her successful maneuvering within the complex and often treacherous landscape of ancient Egyptian court politics. Yet, it was not just through political and military means that Hatshepsut secured her rule. She also employed religious justifications, a masterstroke in a society where religion and state were intricately intertwined. Hatshepsut claimed her father, Thutmose I, had appointed her his successor. She argued that the god Amun had chosen her to be pharaoh, even commissioning a myth to be inscribed in her mortuary temple that depicted her divine birth. Slowly but surely, Hatshepsut transitioned from regent to pharaoh. She gradually assumed more power, eventually declaring herself king, a title traditionally reserved for men. In a daring move, she even began to depict herself in male form in statues and reliefs. Hatshepsut's cunning and strategic mind allowed her to navigate the treacherous waters of Egyptian politics and claim the throne for herself. Under Hatshepsut's reign, Egypt experienced unprecedented prosperity and architectural innovation. The fair pharaoh was indeed a visionary, steering the land of the Nile towards an era of economic abundance and monumental grandeur. Her rule was marked by ambitious trade expeditions, most notably to the land of Punt, a region rich with exotic goods like myrrh, frankincense, and gold. These expeditions not only filled the coffers of Egypt but also fostered diplomatic relations, further strengthening her reign. But it wasn't just the wealth of Egypt that Hatshepsut enhanced. It was the skyline too. With a keen eye for architecture, she embarked on numerous building projects that would stand as a testament to her power and vision. Most noteworthy of these was her mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahri. This grand structure, set against the towering cliffs of Thebes, was a masterpiece of symmetry and grandeur. It was a marvel of the ancient world and an embodiment of her regal presence. The temple was more than a place of worship. It was a statement of her power, her rule, and her legacy. The sheer scale and beauty of the temple were a visual testament to her reign's prosperity and her indomitable spirit in a male-dominated world. Hatshepsut's rule was not just about power, but also about leaving a lasting legacy through her architectural achievements. In the annals of history she stands tall, not just as a pharaoh but as an architect of prosperity and grandeur. Hatshepsut's reign ended, but her impact on Egypt was far from over. The aftermath of her death saw the erasure of her images by Thutmose III, who perhaps sought to assert his own legacy, or perhaps to rectify what he saw as a breach of tradition. This act of iconoclasm, however, could not completely obliterate the indelible mark Hatshepsut had left on Egypt. Her legacy was rediscovered centuries later by modern archaeologists who brought her story back to life. These research heroes delved into the sands of time, unveiling the accomplishments of a woman who had the audacity to defy societal norms in a male-dominated era. Hatshepsut is now recognized as one of the most successful pharaohs in Egyptian history. She transformed Egypt into a powerhouse of wealth, culture, and architectural magnificence. Despite attempts to erase her from history, Hatshepsut's legacy persists, reminding us of a woman who dared to defy norms and lead a nation into prosperity.